All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to the Podcasters live stream webinar series. We're excited to have you guys on this Wednesday night, first Wednesday of September. Hopefully, everybody had a great Labor Day weekend and are off rock and roll. It's hard to believe that we're in the final third of 2019. Where the heck did the rest of the year go? So, both of you guys are off rock and rolling. We're excited to have you guys tonight, and I'm extremely jacked up for our special guest tonight, who's just developed an amazing tool that has actually helped me in so many ways and is helping so many other podcasters and marketers out there. But we'll get to that in a second. As always, got a few announcements. Want to give a big shout out to Podcast Business Journal for sponsoring this series. As always, hey, go check them out, podcastbusinessjournal.com. Subscribe. Such great knowledge on there. So many podcasters sharing articles, and Ed just does an amazing job with Podcast Business Journal. Just so much information out there. Check them out. Subscribe. He's always looking for content as well out there as well too. So take the opportunity, but big thanks to them for sponsoring. And then I also want to let you guys know, once again, we have our Mass Media Mastermind taking place here at the end of this month. It is National Podcast Month right now, September is. And the last day of the month, September 30th, is International Podcast Day. And we've got our 2-day mastermind taking place in Orlando, the 30th and October 1st. We're really excited about this. Spots are filling up. We're going to be at the Coronado Springs Resort near Epcot. 50 plus series podcasts. I think we're at 33, 34 stops right now with, a month left. 2 days of best practices that we're going to be going through. So true round table mastermind, not a pitch fest, not a come buy my stuff. This is literally sitting down with your fellow peers who are serious about their podcast and podcraft, sharing tools, tips, tradecraft, vendors, cross-promoting, cross-reviewing, cross-sharing. We'll talk about monetization and growing one's audience and a lot of things. So like I said, it's a Monday, Tuesday, 9 to 5. If you check out the website, massmediamastermind.com, you can see the tentative schedule. It'll vary. We're adding more people to the list of those that are signed up on there. It's $250 per person. We dropped it down just basically enough to cover our costs for the event, for the meeting space, the food and beverage. And then, of course, we've got a really cool our VIP red carpet party taking place in Epcot the night of the 30th, which is International Podcast Day. It's also the last day that celebrations is the fireworks display is taking place in Epcot. So we're excited about that. We do have a room block tentative, but that is filling up fast, and it is expiring soon as well, too. So you want to take advantage of that. But if you go to massmediamastermind.com and get signed up there, I'd love to have you. We have podcasters from different genres coming together as a great way to really kind of learn what other people are doing to help them drive their audience and really help monetize and maximize what they're doing with their podcast. But like I said, International Podcast Day is September 30th. I can't think of a better thing than to hang out with 50 other podcasters who are serious about it. Last year, we did a 12-hour live stream with over 35 podcasters, and so we're excited to spend 2 days with 50 people, 50-plus podcasters there in Orlando. So I'd love to have you, especially now that the hurricane is kind of going to miss most of Florida for the most part, some rain and wind. No excuse for you not to be out there and join us for 2 days. But I'm also going to be heading, I don't know if some of you guys are going to be in San Diego, September 16th, 17th, and 18th. That's the next New Media Summit put on by Steve Olsher. I think he's got a few spots left. He's got 150 people that are looking to get booked on different podcasts. So that's one of the things you're looking to do to expand your audience, expand the word out when you're doing podcasts. I love speaking on other people's podcasts. It's been a great way to help us boost our numbers out there. I'll be there for the third time as an icon of influence, along with 35, 34, 40 other icons who've done a good job as a way to help kind of coach other people that are looking to get booked or book you on our podcast. So check out newmediasummit.com or drop me an email. I'll be glad to see if Steve's got any spot. I think tickets are like $9.97 still for last minute signups for everybody, but he does a really great job with his events. One of the better podcast families out there. But anyway, we are so excited when we started doing these Wednesday live streams, as they evolved from us doing our once a month podcast meetup here in Austin, Texas. I was like, there's so much stuff that so many people are asking. You can't just do it one night a month. So that's why we love doing this. And our guest tonight was one of the first people I reached out to say, hey, I'd love to have you on here. Why? Because I love what he does. I might not be the cheerleader in pom-poms and a short skirt, but I'm pretty close to that, because what our guest is doing tonight is just absolutely amazing. He is totally revolutionizing the way podcasters are able to take either their audio or the video and really repurpose it for maximum exposure. He'll share some stuff tonight, but I don't want to take away any of his thunder. Our special guest, first and foremost in his bio, he is a father, which is great. I love it when people talk about that. He's a father. He's known as a softwarepreneur, doing some amazing things that you'll see tonight. He's the creator of Repurpose.io, which is, like I said before, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your guys' butt, it is a software that has helped me dramatically being able to take one thing and repurpose it in other places out there. He calls Toronto, Ontario home, and he's our friend, our buddy Hani Mourra joined us tonight from north of the border, eh, Hani?
Mm-hmm.
You got your video turned off there? You want your video on?
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right, brother. You're enjoying Rocket Man.
Ooh, there we go. There we are.
There you go. So what was the funny thing is I was at PodFest 2 years ago, and somebody recommended Repurpose.io. I went and checked it out. I started using it, started bragging on it, really getting a feel for it. And then we ended up having booths next to each other at PodFest this year and got a chance to kind of hang out and get to know each other. And then same thing, you're at Podcast Movement. And it's been really, really cool. Love what you're doing because you guys, you're just always looking to improve the product. And you've done some amazing things. So I'm going to shut up because I know you've got, like you did at Podcast Movement, you've got a great little presentation on how it works and how those that have podcasts, whether it's video or audio, can really use your product and just absolutely not only save hours and a ton of time, but also really explode their presence online, right, Hani?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, is making that content, putting it out in front of the people, right? Getting your message out to the world.
Exactly. And that's what it is. I mean, that's the thing is people always ask, like, how do I grow my audience? Well, you just got to get in front of more eyeballs or in front of more earballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Earballs. I love it. Very cool. Well, thanks for having me, Scott. I appreciate it. It's been this, we've, like you said, we've met a couple times in person, very recently in Podcast Movement. And we sat side by side for a couple of days at PodCamp and in Orlando for the PodFest. And yeah, I'm happy to dive right in if that's what you want me to do. We'll just
I think so. But you know, I don't know. Let's see here. We got, and I encourage those that are watching this on the Facebook live stream and then also here on Zoom to ask questions. I'll be monitoring both of you back and forth. But hi, Lucy. Hi, John. Hi, Jeff. We got quite a few people joining us from the Facebook group. Hi, Jen. Hi, Boyd. Out there. Yeah. Why don't we talk about? I'll let you go as you kind of dive in and share everybody with what Repurpose is, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. I can see some of the comments when people are on Zoom, but I won't be able to see all the comments. But I'll leave it up to you guys to kind of chime in, and Scott can interrupt me anytime and just go ahead. This is going to be casual. I'm going to say what I got to say, show you what we got to show, but I'm also here for you guys as well. So any questions along the way, we'll stop what we're doing and we'll get them answered. So what is Repurpose.io? And it's a software. It's a platform that's designed to help you get your content to multiple platforms, whether you start with audio or whether you start with video. And the whole idea is it takes all the tedious work out of converting files, resizing them, making videos out of audios, etc. It automates that in a way that puts you in control. So you decide which platforms you want them to go to and what kind of formats, what sizes, what shapes, full episodes, clips, all that. You have full control over that. But before we get into the details of it, I wanted to kind of just talk high level about like when you create content, where do you want to put it? So I have a little flow chart. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay, Scott.
Yes, please do. No problem at all, brother.
Share my screen, and I have it here. And basically, I have two little kind of flow diagrams. But let's start with audio podcasters. So if you create audio content, then you want to get that in front of as many eyeballs and earballs, like Scott said. I love that, earballs. So where do you want to put it? You definitely want to put it on, several places. Obviously, you want to submit your podcast to the podcast directories, like the iTunes, the Spotify's. I'm not going to go into detail about that because that's something that your podcast host will either do for you or help do for you, or it's something that you submit to them once, and then all of a sudden, you appear on Spotify and you appear on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, etc. So that's just one place you want to submit your podcast feed. It's a one-time thing. It's nothing to do with our software, but it's something that your podcast host can help you with. The next place you want to go to is you want to get this content on your home base. You want to get it on your blog. I call it blog, on your website. So we have a tool that will help you automate that, but I'm not going to talk about tools. Let's just talk about kind of, destinations. Where do you want to send it? So you definitely want to have some kind of audio player on your website for every episode, ideally, in my opinion. Some people like one playlist, which is cool too, but just make every episode consumable on your site, because when they're on your site, they learn more about you, they engage with you. You can also, get them to opt in for a free gift or subscribe to your podcast on Apple Podcasts, etc. So for those who don't know what all this tech is or what a podcast is, send them a link. They can click play on your website. That's the easiest way for someone to consume your content, especially in audio format. So definitely you want to get it on your website for sure. Now, the next kind of thing where we'll dive into more of a demo and how the software works a little bit later on. But the next thing you want to do is you want to get it on as many social platforms as possible. And you're probably thinking, hey, if I start with an audio, how do I put an audio on YouTube, for example? Or how do I put an audio on Facebook? Well, you can't really. You can't do it directly as an audio, so you have to convert it into a video. And that's what we're recommending here. And that's what this tool will help you do, will do for you automatically. So the idea is you want to get it on YouTube and on your Facebook page at a minimum. Get them on those two platforms. And there are just many reasons for that. YouTube is a popular search engine. It's the number one search engine. You can do a little bit of optimization. You can get more discovered by someone searching for the topic or searching for you or your name of your podcast on Google. Google returns results from YouTube, actually pretty high in the rankings. So if your content's on YouTube, you just got more visibility on Google automatically just by putting your content on YouTube. And I recommend putting the full episode. I know people are going to say, hey, I don't, who's going to sit there through a 30-minute episode? They might not sit there. They might have it playing in the background while they're working. They might be, doing their dishes and still have YouTube on playing in the background. So don't worry too much about that. And but having it on there just gives you searchability from Google and from YouTube, number one, number two search engines out there. And also just an easy way for someone who's searching for things. People go to YouTube to search. Like, hey, how do I do this? Or I want to learn more about this. So they're searching actively on YouTube, and you just get more visibility that way. And then Facebook, again, I would recommend the full episode, or you can even do short clips as well. You can experiment, see what your audience is responding to. But definitely recommend getting it on Facebook. There's no reason not to. Again, people might say, hey, no one's going to sit there and watch a whole episode. But just the fact that you're in their feed repeatedly, regularly, weekly, or however your frequency of your podcast is, you're just in their face where they hang out. And just a reminder, there's a new episode. Oh, this looks interesting. Oh, I'm going to listen to the first few seconds. It's a constant reminder because people are on their phones scrolling. And a native video, like a raw native video on Facebook, gets more attention in the feed compared to just sharing a link to your website. We all good? Okay, no, I thought someone chimed in for a question.
Not yet. You're good right now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so that we got kind of this arrow going down here. We got an audio podcast. Going to fire that into a video. Don't worry about the how yet. I'm just focus on what we're trying to accomplish here. So we're getting it full episodes onto YouTube and onto Facebook. And then you want to go on other platforms, like definitely want to be on LinkedIn. You definitely want to be on Instagram and Instagram TV, because these are, I don't know, the world's changing. Social media is changing. Facebook was hot like 5 years ago, and then now it's just the dynamics of every platform is a little bit different. So why not put it on those platforms? And the annoying thing in the past was every platform had different dimensions of the video. The video had to be, it can't be vertical, it had to be square. And if it can't be square, it had to be this, and then it had to be vertical. Sorry, it can't be horizontal, it has to be whatever. Like everyone's got their own rules, and it just makes the content creator's job just more annoying. So we have an automatic resizing tool built in to help you just take the episode and then just resize it, whether it's horizontal, which is the default, vertical, which is ideal for Instagram TV and Instagram, and square, which is, in my opinion, ideal for LinkedIn and for Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Look the best on your feed when someone's scrolling, especially on mobile. I'm always thinking mobile because that's where people spend their time on these social platforms, usually on mobile. One little tip about IGTV, IGTV, you want to put on, you might think, why do I want to put on IGTV and not just stick with Instagram? IGTV gives you a couple of advantages. One, it's still new, and Instagram, well, it's not that new, but it's newer, and Instagram is trying to push it more. So they're going to give you more love by putting content on IGTV. But more importantly, they have a really cool feature where there's a little checkbox every time you upload a video to IGTV and lets you automatically share it to your IG feed. So it automatically shows up in your Instagram feed. So you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 here. You're getting a video on IGTV, and then you're getting a 1-minute version, first minute automatically appearing in your Instagram feed and in your followers' Instagram feed. So you kind of get it in 2 places. And the other advantage is the length. For most people, IGTV limit is 10 minutes. I hear it may even go up to 15. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but right now it's 10 minutes for most people. So versus an Instagram feed, the limit is 1 minute right now if you upload your own videos. So the idea is you make a vertical video, you put it on Instagram TV, up to 10 minutes long, and everyone sees the first minute automatically in their Instagram feed. They click a button, and then the rest of it continues playing if they're interested. So you got a 2-for-1 deal. So that's why I say do Instagram TV, then you automatically get Instagram for free. That's just a nice feature of Instagram right now. And then LinkedIn limits around 10 minutes. So if your episodes are longer than 10 minutes, you can slice it up into, a few minute chunks of, little teaser clips or quotes from your guests or quotes from yourself, and keep them under 10 minutes when you want to go to LinkedIn. And LinkedIn's, it's like they released video almost maybe about a year ago or so, like native video. Now they're doing live video. So they're really pushing the video as well. Every platform is pushing video as their number one. The most attention you get is by posting native videos to each platform. And then Twitter, I think the limit's about 2 minutes, but you want to keep it really, really short. So that's the idea, is that you take that one piece of content, the audio, just to recap again, it takes the audio, it already goes up to Apple and Spotify, et cetera, through your RSS feed. That's something that your podcast host will help you set that up. It's a one-time setup, and you're always good to go. Have a copy, not a copy, but have a way for someone to listen on your website. For those who don't hang out on social very much, or they just want a quick way to send the link, you can send them to your website. That's the best place to send them. And then putting it on social, the YouTubes, Facebooks, Twitters, etc. The idea here is you're in their face where they hang out. You're always in their top of mind by having your content there. And it's easily consumable. There's no links to click. They just consume the content right there on that platform without leaving that platform.
Love it.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of what you want to do with your audio. So like one single audio, you can have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different or 7 different pieces of content, or on 7 different places, I should say. And then with video is very similar. Like if you're starting with video, whether it's a live video like we're doing now, or whether it's a pre-recorded video that you want to upload, you want to actually a couple extra things you can do, or one extra thing you can do. So if you're starting with video, same thing. You want to have it on your site. You want to embed a video, whether it's a Facebook video, whether it's a YouTube version. Embed a video on your site so that it's a blog post, right? There's nothing wrong with having that content on your blog. So put it on there so people can find it there, or people can quickly watch it there if you want to send someone directly to that video. And then you want to consider doing an audio podcast. So if you're using video just to create content, you can choose some or all, and just basically make a podcast. Like rip the audio out, slap an intro and an outro on there, and you can automatically have content for your podcast without doing any extra work. So it may not apply to every single video, but you may pick and choose ones that fit or complement your existing podcast, or just start a whole brand new podcast that's based on the video content that you create. And I've seen a lot of people now doing Facebook Lives and turning them into podcasts, because in my opinion, going live, I know it sounds almost counterintuitive, going live is easier and faster than a pre-recorded video.
I would say that's easier too, because
Yeah.
that's how I started. I did 150 or 149 Facebook Lives before we launched really the true podcast. But we got comfortable with it. It allowed for us to field questions from our audience to live, which is really nice. That fills versus you trying to figure out what to do or what to say sometimes.
Yeah, and like you don't have to worry about like doing, you know, oh, take one. Oh, I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna take two. When you do pre-recorded video, I find I'm a perfectionist, so I spend a lot of time like, oh man, let me just do that take again. Oh, we'll edit that out later. If it's live, it's live. It's really about the content. Don't get caught up in the super fancy, like, high-end production videos. You want to have good audio, good video, and good content, but you don't want necessarily to like spend a lot of time and taking the same shot over and over again. So yeah, I see a lot of people now doing the whole approach of going live and then making that into their audio episode. So that's all good. And then you definitely want to repurpose that video. Well, not repurpose. You want to definitely take that video and put it on social. Whether it's, you start off with a Facebook video. Let's just, for example, start off with a Facebook video or a Facebook Live. You definitely want to get it on the other social platform like we talked about. So you want to get it onto YouTube. You want to put it on different Facebook pages or on different Facebook groups. So you can do that as well. But where it gets interesting is, again, when it comes to these other social platforms like the Instagrams, LinkedIn, Twitter, where typically you start off with this horizontal video like this one here, and then Instagram's like, well, we prefer that you do a vertical video. We're like, well, I'm not going to go shoot the video again. So you're going to convert that into a vertical video. There's some things you can do to spice it up, like add captions and stuff. I'll show that a little bit later. But the idea is you convert it into a size that's ideal for the platform, vertical, which is ideal for the Instagram TV, and then square. You can basically turn into another square version that's perfect for Twitter and for LinkedIn as well. So that you turn that one piece of content into a blog post, into an audio podcast, into full length videos on YouTube, and then either, depending how long or short your episode is, it could be a full length or a clip on Instagram TV, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So you got all your bases.
We'll do an hour now, actually.
Oh, with what? Sorry?
In IGTV, we'll do up to an hour, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've done an hour live on IGTV before.
Oh, you done a live there. Okay. Maybe live is different. But I think uploading, there's some other limits. And depending on how many followers you have, if you have a lot of followers on Instagram, then they let
I've got like 2,000, 2,500, not that big. It's my smallest platform. But when I do, there's been times when I was going to be recording, I did a Facebook Live where I just put my phone in place and did IGTV live with me doing it for a full hour.
Oh, that's smart. I like that idea. So you're getting it live on those platforms.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. All right. So that's kind of like the bird's eye view of content, whether you're starting from video or starting from audio. You want to be on social, you want to be on your site. And then if you're starting on video, you definitely want to make an audio version. If all your episodes, and if not all of them, at least the ones that are applicable or consumable via audio, that makes sense as audio episodes. So that's the strategy. And then Repurpose, the software, repurpose.io, is designed really to help you automate almost all of it, to the point where you just have to create the content and put it on one platform like Facebook, or upload it to your podcast as an audio. And then you can make basically all these arrows that you're seeing here. You can make these rules that automatically convert, size wise, vertical, horizontal, etc., and automatically publish to almost all these platforms, like all these platforms you see in this row over here. And we're continuously adding more integration. I'll dive into that in a few minutes, but I just want to make sure, I want to see if anybody's got any questions or thoughts or opinions on social and getting your content on more than one platform. Any questions about?
So we got a question here from Jess, who says, I do an audio podcast. I'm a little nervous about video. do you recommend putting like a static image for a video if they're going to upload it to YouTube to help drive that searchability?
Yeah. I mean, if you're absolutely against video and your primary source of content is audio, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's comfortable producing content in their own way. The content's still valuable. So the only way to get it onto YouTube and onto Facebook and everything you see here onto Instagrams and Twitters, etc., is to make it into a video. And the only way to do that without actually recording the video is actually to just superimpose, I would say, kind of a static image. Like we have these templates that add some dynamic motion to it. There's a waveform and stuff, which gives a bit of, depth to it. Like it's a little bit more than just a static image. But worst comes to worst, if you're not using this tool, you're using other tools, just get it on as video, get it into a video format. You're better than not doing it. Yes. But if you're comfortable doing video as a starting point, that's something that's, it's up to you. There's no like pressure to do it. So you still have options if you start with audio.
Okay.
So any other questions?
I see a question right now.
All right. Awesome. Okay, cool. So shall we jump into the IO software, kind of how to set up all these rules? What we're basically mapping out, basically all these scenarios here that we covered. What do you think? Should we cover our audio folks first? People who start with audio, or
yeah, let's do that first. Let's start with that first, because I think most of the people that I see that are on here or watching have audio first and foremost. So we'll start with there first and go.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so this is I'm logged into my account. So Repurpose.io is a software that's web-based. There's nothing to download. Any web browser, you log in and you set it up the way you want. So the idea is we kind of have two categories. We have what's called a connection and what's called a workflow. A connection is basically these social platforms, the YouTube, Facebook. We don't connect you with Twitter, Google Drive, etc. Those are connections. So we have to add the connections that we want to add to the platform. Nothing happens when we add a connection. We just basically give our software the privilege and the rights to upload to YouTube or to Facebook, etc. And then the next thing we do is what we call workflows, which are basically the arrows. So every arrow, like if you follow one arrow from here, for example, well, let's take audio. If you take an audio, convert it to a video, and send it to YouTube, that is what we call one workflow. If you look at audio, convert it to a vertical video and send it to my Dropbox account, that's another workflow. So everything and there's no limit on number of workflows that you can make. So each of these arrow, if you follow it all the way down, is what we call a workflow. So I'm not sure if we're gonna have time to build every single workflow that's here. This would be available. You guys can grab this off our site as well. So I'll make sure Scott shares that link with you guys. But basically, I'm gonna go through this workflow first, just to show you how to create an audio podcast to a video and onto YouTube via our software, Repurpose.io. So connections, I'm gonna go and add my podcast. So the first thing I want to do is add my podcast. Say I'm gonna choose add podcast from this here. Say add connection. I'm gonna give it a name, any name I want. It doesn't really matter. It's just something so I know what it is. And here I can paste my RSS feed. If I know what my feed is, I can paste it right here. I know what it is. I use Libsyn for my test account. It could be any podcast feed from any host, Spreaker, you name it, anybody. It doesn't matter where you're hosting your podcast. It's fully compatible. If you don't know your feed or you're having a hard time finding it, you can just Google your podcasts and get your iTunes or Apple Podcast link and just paste it into here. And then the software will figure it out for you. So don't worry about that. So we're compatible with any platform where your podcast lives. I'm going to say connect. It does a quick validation. It says success. All right. So I've added my podcast. Before I start this demo, I've already added my Dropbox and Facebook accounts. I'll explain why we need Dropbox when I get to that part of the demo. But I'm going to add my YouTube as well right now, because this the first workflow we're going to create is to go audio podcast to YouTube. So I'm just going to say Hani's YouTube. Again, any name I want. It's going to pop up a little window. I'm just going to choose my YouTube account and then say allow. So all we're doing is we're allowing Repurpose, the software, to upload videos to our channel for us. All right, so I can go add more. We have a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to go do that right now. Twitter, Dropbox, blah, blah, blah. We'll come back to that later as we need to add more connections, we can add them. So now I'm going to go ahead and make my first rule. This is the fun part. This is where we make that first workflow. So this one is going to be called Podcast to YouTube. So give it a name. Be clear with your names when you're doing this, because you're going to have a lot of workflows, and then later on you're going to kind of forget what each one does. So if you're clear in the naming now, it just makes your life a lot easier. So the first step, we're going to say, okay, what are we doing? We're going to start, like, what's our input? Like, what's our source? In this case, it's my audio podcast, and it's Hani's podcast. You can add, depending which plan you're on, you can add up to 5 podcasts. So if you have multiple podcasts, you can add them there, and you can choose from this list, but I only have one connected right now, so we're all good. The next step is action. I'm just going to minimize this. So our next step is action. So basically, what are we trying to do? In this case, we're going to convert the audio into a video. Perfect. So I'm not going to change that. And then you have the option to say full episode, meaning the full duration of the episode, or snippets, which are little short clips. I'm going to YouTube. I'm always recommending people to do the full episode on YouTube. I'll do a demo of the snippets and how that works right after this. So let's leave this full episode. The next thing I want to do is, the last thing I want to do is tell it, where do you want to go? Like, what's my output? Where do I want to send this video that you're going to make for me? Well, I want to send it to my YouTube. And then it shows me, if you have a playlist already, it shows you all your playlists.
Oh, wow.
I'm testing a lot of playlists. Or you can make a brand new playlist here if you wanted to, and make a playlist. So I recommend, if you have a podcast, if you have a YouTube channel with other stuff on it, make a playlist for your podcast with the name, maybe the name of your show, and then add your audio episodes, like the audio to video episodes, under that playlist. So just a little more organized. So people watch one episode, they can easily find the other episodes within a playlist. So I'm going to leave it as none, just no playlist, just right to my main channel. And that's it. I'm going to say create workflow. So here it is. Before I go into any settings or anything like that, we haven't published anything yet. We just made the rule, the workflow. And if you click view episodes, it shows you your entire podcast feed. So it shows you every single episode you've ever published, the title. If you upload, guest thumbnails or episode specific artwork to your podcast hosts, we pick that up. We show that here. So you can see here, this is one image, one other image. If you don't, then it just picks the default iTunes or Apple Podcasts artwork for your podcasts, which is mine here. Publish date, like when the episode was released, and then you can hit publish and publish your episode. But before I do that, you're probably wondering, like, what is it going to make? Like, what kind of video is it going to make? What is it going to look like? So that's where you go into the settings, this gear icon here, and we get to choose. So we set up the software to be template based. And so we have 6 templates that are included. And then you can upload as many templates as you want. You can design your own branded template the way you want it, the colors, the logos, etc., and upload it. So templates it's a one-time thing that you upload to our system. So for each workflow, you have one template. So you're not doing it per episode, you're doing it for the entire workflow, which is the entire podcast. So you're not sitting here designing graphics for every single episode. That just take too long. We have vertical templates, square templates, but since we're going to YouTube, I'm going to leave as a default horizontal. So if I click preview, it'll show you, I kind of walk you through what a template looks like. So for every episode, we take the title of that episode, we put it right into the top. This is a moving, audio waveform that's generated. It's a real audio waveform for that episode. So that kind of floats around right here. And then this square image here is the episode specific or your Apple or your main artwork for your podcast. And everything else, this sign here, this blue background image, these gray bars, etc., everything else is part of the template. So you would design your own. We have specs to walk you through how to design your own template. You can use Canva or any tool. It's not, you don't have to get too fancy with it. And you can do it yourself if you wanted to. And then we basically superimpose the square image right here, title and waveform on every episode. So every video looks a little different because the title is unique. The guests will show up here, but then the rest of it is branded your way. So let's just see how this works. So I'm going to use this template for the demo. You can change the waveform color. By default, it's white. You can pick a branded color. There's a bunch of settings. I don't want to get too much into it. There's a couple of things you can do, like intro, outro. For example, if you want to add a little call to action at the end or in the beginning, you have a little animated logo of your brand. You can add that to the video before when we make it and when we publish it to YouTube. So those are kind of like advanced things. Don't worry too much about it. I'm not going to change anything here. You can add, if you have keywords that you want to appear on YouTube channel, you can put them in here.
Nice.
And then I recommend, if you're testing for the first time, if you have a live YouTube channel you already have a YouTube channel with content on it, publish it, set it to private so that it goes to video as private. Make sure that it looks the way you want it and you're happy with it before you turn this to public. If you're starting a brand new channel, it doesn't matter. Just leave it as public. And you can use your YouTube categories, the ones that you want to publish too. So I'll just leave it as public. It doesn't matter. It's my test channel. And that's it. So basically, essentially all you're doing is picking the template. That's the only thing you need to worry about. And then if you want to customize the color of the waveform, we actually added a new feature for a progress bar as well. We have a cool progress bar. But anyway, I'm geeking out too much. So we picked our template, and then all we got to do is hit publish. When we hit publish, it pulls in the information from your podcast episode. So the title, like from your show notes, basically. So your title, your description, everything comes directly from whatever you entered when you published that episode on your podcast host. Now, my suggestion here is, if you're going to use this tool, spend time to do detailed show notes when you publish your episode. So when you publish your episode to whatever podcast host you're publishing on, take the time, put a good title, put in almost write a blog post here, like write as much content, show notes right here in the description, because that will save you time. Because what we do is, when this sends it to YouTube, it will take the exact description and title and send that off to YouTube as well. So you don't have to type it in again or change it. So by default, it pulls in everything from your podcast feed, puts it here. But if you do want to change it, update it, tweak it, you can add more stuff. If you want to put something specific for the video on YouTube, you can enter more stuff in here or delete stuff if you want. But recommendation, again, thinking in automation and systemizing things, do all the work up front when you publish your podcast episode to your host, and it will save you time when you come to this step. Then you won't have to do anything. The information's already there. A couple settings here. I'm not going to get into it. And just hit publish. And that's it. So in a few seconds, it should go from queued into processing, depending on how many things are happening. Well, yeah, of course, when you're demoing it, yeah, so maybe we have a big queue. We have a big queue that takes in all the jobs. So if there's a lot of jobs happening at the same time, it might get backed up a little bit. It's all good. We'll come back to that and show you the results. So it should be done in a few minutes. So once it's queued, then once it's your turn, or this episode's turn, it'll go into processing, and then we can have a look at the final video afterwards. So I'll leave that the way it is and continue, and then we'll come back to this. So any questions so far?
So we got a question from Boyd, who asks, so you can design your own template, but you've got those in there that automatically will pull either your artwork or your podcast, or if you, hang on, what is he saying here? He says basically if you want to put your guest's shot in there, it's easy enough to do that too, instead of putting your artwork in there, correct?
Yeah, so to get your guest to appear here, you have to upload your guest image when you publish your episode on your podcast host. Okay. So for example, Libsyn, inside Libsyn, there's an option. I happen to be logged into Libsyn here. So somewhere here, you can go in. It's going to be different for every host, obviously, but you can go under artwork, and I think you can, yeah, under the thumbnail image.
Okay.
I uploaded my guest image here. So everything you're doing is done when you publish the episode on your podcast host, and then our software will just read it automatically and use it
Nice.
if it's there. So the whole idea is you spend the time when you publish here and not worry about designing graphics for stuff.
It's done. It's done and done, right?
It's done and done. The only design you got to do if you want is to design a template or just pick one of ours. I highly recommend designing your own template. And once you get into it, you want to brand it the way you want. You want to put your colors, etc.
Yeah. Lucy asked a question here. Are there people that can be hired that know all this? Yes, Lucy, there are. Definitely.
Yeah, no, this software is actually like, if you have someone on your team that's been doing these for you manually, two options. One, you may not need them anymore. Two, you may just make their life a lot easier because they can log into one piece of software and manage everything. And for the fraction of the time they would have spent doing it all themselves. And then they can work on other stuff. So yeah, we have, in terms of training, we have a support section, repurpose.io/support, that has videos in there. So yeah, and there's videos inside the app as well when you first log in. So it may look like a lot. I tend to talk fast, but once you build your first workflow, like I just did now, and you publish it and you see a video on YouTube, it's just like, oh, it's done. See, there we go. So this episode is done. Yeah. So when you're done, it gives you a little icon, like an eye icon. So that will just take you right to the video on YouTube. So I click it. It opens the video. Oh, okay. I did a demo earlier today, and I had the same exact video. Make sure you delete your YouTube. So obviously YouTube doesn't like duplicates, but I'll show you what I already published the same video. No, that's not it. All right, bear with me, guys. Apologize for that. I should have done that. Neither.
All right.
This was done 9 hours ago. This is the one I did.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the video.
Wow.
The title, waveform, my guest image, and then if you look at the description, it's all here. And a cool little hack I learned. Well, not even a hack. It's just a feature of YouTube. If you have timestamps in your description on YouTube, the player jumps. The video actually jumps to that time. So if you have them, if you take the time when you're publishing your episode to put timestamps in here, like I did on my podcast host, they automatically get pushed to YouTube, and then automatically get clickable timestamps on YouTube without doing any extra work. So that's a cool little bonus tip that I learned pretty recently. Wow,
that's new. That's a nugget right there.
Yeah. I'm like kind of by accident discovered that. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, so this is the video. It's there. Now the cool thing is, I just hit publish. Like I can go ahead and hit publish the ones I want, or I can go in and turn on auto. So auto publish does two things. It'll add every single episode to the queue, so they just get queued up, and then just our system will crank through it and just make the video and upload to YouTube. All like the existing ones here. And then, or if you don't want them all, you can set a date. You can say, hey, only take everything from 2018 onwards. So you can do that as well. But the coolest part is you can say, hey, now every time I publish a video, every time I publish an audio to my podcast feed, I don't have to log into Repurpose anymore. Any workflow that's an auto will just automatically detect a new episode, automatically make the video, and automatically send it to YouTube without you even having to log in to our software.
Wow.
That's where the magic is that you can set the workflow, publish one manually, maybe two, make sure you like the look of it, you're happy with it, and then you can leave your workflow in auto and not worry about coming in and remembering to publish an episode to YouTube and then sending another one to Facebook and then doing this and doing that. So you can have your workflows set to auto to automate all this, which is really the power of this software, of this platform.
That totally is, because one of the beautiful things I loved immediately is if you go Facebook Live and then you go to download it. It takes forever for
Mhm.
Facebook to download. And
Yes.
your service automatically, once you're connected, it pulls all the videos in minutes, and I don't have to wait to download. I can do this work, press just a few buttons once it's set up, and walk away, and it uploads it to YouTube, or it does all the work you're doing with the captions and
Oh
the.
yeah, I want to show that.
That's
That's gonna be cool. I
that's
think people will
such the.
love
I
that.
mean, it's such the beauty because when you figure, I live in Austin, Texas. I'm paying an assistant $20 an hour to do a lot of marketing. If I wanted them to do the downloads and stuff like that, well, we're talking that's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours right there, $60.
Yeah.
You
And
know. Oh,
for the price of this software, we've
don't
already gone.
don't
We've
tell them
gone.
yet. It's
No, I'm
so.
not saying. I'm not saying. I'm not saying. We'll get to that at the end. Keep them on the edge.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, awesome. So that's just one workflow. Like I built the one workflow, and boom, I can basically have my entire podcast, every single episode I've ever made of my podcast onto YouTube in, well, depending on how many episodes, in minutes to hours. And it's just one click here, go to bed by tomorrow. This should be onto YouTube. So that's a good way to get kind of a backlog of all your episodes onto YouTube. Okay, let's move on. Well, unless I see questions. Are there any questions that I need
Nope,
to
not yet. They're
comments?
physically taking notes.
Okay, sweet. All right, so so basically I'm gonna you can do the same exact thing I just did. Make another workflow that goes to Facebook. I'm not gonna actually publish the episode, but I'll show you how to quickly make that workflow. So I'm gonna say podcast to Facebook. So I wanna, if you have a Facebook page, or even if you don't, I would recommend you make one. Send all your videos to your Facebook page. There's a lot of cool tools in there, analytics and stuff. So I'm going to make another workflow, audio podcast, convert it to YouTube, convert it to a video. Just for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to pick snippets and show you how that snippets feature works. So the snippets can work anywhere. If you wanted to put snippets onto YouTube, you could. If you wanted to put snippets onto, well, you have to do it on Twitter because there's a time limit. So I just want to show you how that works, just to kind of cover two birds in one stone here. So I'm going to say next. And this time I'm going to send to my Facebook. So when you say Facebook, it asks you want to go to a page or to a group. So you can upload videos to a group if you wanted to. Like if you have a private group you want to send stuff to, you can do that. For this demo, I'm going to say page. And then every page that you're an admin for will appear here. And I'm going to say my test page, for example. So that's it. So I'm just going to take a second. I found this earlier today. Whenever I use Zoom, I find my browser slows down completely.
Yeah, it does. It pulls a lot of browser. It definitely it takes a lot of the bandwidth up. That's the truth.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was actually listening to some audio clips, and even they were being choppy when I listened to the browser. And then I closed Zoom, and then all of a sudden it just worked. I thought it was my internet, but it was actually Zoom. But anyway, no offense, Zoom. It's a great product. But
none taken, sir. None taken.
I love Zoom.
Maybe you got to get a little faster. Maybe you got a little bit bigger internet on your side.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, because I had to do that. I shared video a lot of times at my offices here, and I went out and got my own internet because I was hogging so much of it. So yeah.
Oh, interesting. It's probably a combination of both. It's like my internet as well. Okay, cool. So we got a podcast to Facebook. Same kind of deal. I pick templates. I go to the settings. I pick a template, etc. What you'll see different here is when I go view episodes, because I pick snippets. You're gonna see. Well, you see a couple things. Ignore the top half for a second. I'll explain what that is in a second. But most people would see this. Instead of a publish button, you see scissors, which is basically a way of saying that we're going to generate the clips that we want. So to generate a clip, you click the scissors, and it loads the audio right into your browser. You kind of have a sliding window of the section that you want. You can listen to that particular section. If you want to, by default, it's 30 seconds, but you can expand that to as long or as short as you want. Let's say I want a clip from here to here. I listen to it. I'm happy with it. Give it a title, like Hani says something funny here. I don't know, some kind of quote from your guest or whatnot. And they say create snippet. So what that does is it creates that snippet here. And you can have as many snippets as you want per episode. So you're not tied to one snippet per episode. You can have, you can take 4 or 5 different make 4 or 5 different clips from one single audio episode. Then you can say post to Facebook. And I'm just going to hit post and we'll let that do its thing. Probably should have posted a different one. But anyway, so while it's doing that, see these guys here?
Yeah.
For example, these two here, they happen automatically. It made a snippet automatically. And the reason for that is because when I published my episode, I had these timestamps in here on my podcast host. So it automatically made these 2 snippets for me based on the times, the 1 minute and the 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and the text that came after it. So here I said 1 minute, Hani shares his tool for automated repurposing. So I made a snippet. It says Hani shared his tool for creative for automated repurposing. It starts at the 1 minute mark and goes for 30 seconds, which is the default in my settings, which I can change. So it automatically made these, didn't publish them. It made them for me, so I don't have to go in and make the snippets.
Wow.
You can do it, like if you know it in advance while you're editing your audio, you can have your editor or yourself pick the nuggets out, 3 or 4 or 5 key takeaway, put them all in here. And it's as simple as just putting a time and then, and he says that, whatever. It's just in this kind of format, time and space and then some text. And then we saw the advantage on YouTube, it became clickable here automatically. And then now even the snippets are basically ready to go. I can just hit publish to Facebook. So kind of cool, kind of a little hack to help you be a little faster. So you spend the time up front when you publish your episode and you get these clips. And if you don't do this, it's all good. You can always click the scissor icon and then just create your snippets right here from inside the software. So there's no need to change the way you do things. But if you're doing timestamps and you're like pulling out key takeaways with certain times, it helps to do it up front. It will save you a little bit of time instead of going in here and trying to pick the audio. But if you're not doing it, then simple as you can even take the first 30 seconds and make a snippet right on that automatically. Cool. All right, so that's how the snippets work. It looks exactly the same as the regular video. It's still processing. I'll show you what it looks like. But one thing we recommend for snippets, especially for snippets, is that progress bar. And the reason is, even if you can kind of see it here, the reason for progress bars, especially when you're posting short clips, is that it keeps the engagement a little bit higher because when people are watching this, especially on like platforms like Instagram and Twitter, like they see that it's okay, this is a short clip. I'm gonna sit through it, kind of thing, right? If they don't see a progress bar, they have no idea how long the video is and like, oh, I don't have time for this. So just another visual representation that this is a short clip. I'm going to listen to it. It piqued my curiosity. The title piqued my curiosity. I'm going to sit through those 30 seconds or a minute or whatnot. So it's just another visual aid to help keep engagement higher. Cool. So, okay, it's done. On Facebook, it takes a few minutes for it to process.
Right.
But if I hit it here, it might not be ready yet. All right, actually it is.
There it is. Wow.
So I should have done something else. I should have picked a square template just to show what that looks like, but I didn't do that. So you can see the progress bar going on here across the top. Now, yeah, so what I would recommend with snippets is, especially when you're doing the Facebook or you're doing the other social platforms, to go in here and just change this from horizontal to square. And here's what a square template looks like. You got your title, you got your progress bar, artwork, and then with snippets, you have 2 places to put text when you publish. And by default, it's the episode name and then the quote that you put, or basically the name of the snippet that we created when we did that. Cool.
So that's taking one thing and making it into 4 or 5 things right there, and in 4 different spots.
In 4 different spots, and then in potentially 4 different formats and 3 different formats.
Right.
Well, or 4 if you want the full episode here, and then you can have a clip here, and then you can have a square version here and a vertical version. So vertical templates are very similar. They look like this. You got your art, your waveform, your quote or your, snippet text, and then some kind of either call to action or episode title text below. So you can customize those when you publish, when you click the publish button. All right, awesome. So that's the last thing I want to kind of talk about is how do we get it onto Instagram, LinkedIn, and IGTV? Well, Twitter, if you go into Repurpose, you go under connections. You can add Twitter as a connection right here. You pick Twitter, say connect. Twitter, just say okay, it pops up. You say, all right, it's all good. I accept, done. And then when you make a workflow, it'll show you the Twitter option. So I'm not gonna do that. But this is the same exact thing. I can say, podcast to Twitter, and then I can say snippets. So what I want to just mention real quick is to get, if you notice, these arrows are gray. So we don't have a direct integration to LinkedIn yet. Hint, hint. But that's coming soon. But Instagram and IGTV, I think they're limiting how many developers can publish to them, especially Instagram. Yeah. So we don't have direct access. Just leave it at that. And I'm hoping one day we will. I'm sure one day we will when they open it up to more developers. But the idea is whatever platform that we don't directly support or directly publish to, we give you the option to publish to Dropbox or to Google Drive. And that way you can take that file in whatever format you want, whether you want a vertical, square, whatever format you tell it, the system to produce it, or an audio file or whatnot. And you can do what you want with it. You can post it onto Vimeo. You can upload it to Pinterest. Apparently Pinterest does video. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're constantly adding in more and more platforms, but in the short term, you always have this option to send the video right to Dropbox. So that's why these exist here. And then once they're in Dropbox or Google Drive, you're free to put them on Instagram TV, which you could do right from your browser. And then actually another cool trick I learned recently for those Instagrammers out there and IGTV users, there's something called Content Studio inside of Facebook. I don't know who's using it or who's heard of it. But basically, I think it's called Content Studio. Just Google it, Content Studio Facebook. It's part of Facebook itself. And then you can connect your Instagram to it. And then I learned recently, or some new feature that lets you schedule posts for IGTV and Instagram from Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, but before you had to, do it, or someone on your team had to do it at a certain time. But you can schedule video posts to Instagram TV and to Instagram right from Facebook's Content Studio, and to Facebook, of course. Facebook, you've always had the ability to schedule, but Instagram TV and Instagram, you never had the ability until recently. I've seen it. I've never tried it, but so don't quote me if it doesn't work. But that's something relatively new I heard about from someone in our group, actually, in our Facebook group that mentioned it. So cool little trick. You basically send these videos to Dropbox, and then you can queue them up and schedule them to go to Instagram through that Content Studio on Facebook.
You are totally correct, because I just got invited to the Facebook Creator Studio about a month ago. I hadn't messed around with it much. My assistant has. And you're 100% correct. The first thing that popped up is like, hey, it says it right here. Is the very first thing is publish and schedule posts to Instagram and IGTV from Creator Studio.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, Creator Studio. That's the one. Yeah, Creator Studio. That's the one. So not Content Studio, Creator Studio. Okay. Yeah. This is so cool. Like, I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is it. Like, the pieces are coming together, right? Like, that's one thing that's been missing with Instagram and IGTV is the scheduling option.
Yeah.
So now you can do it, which is awesome. Okay, cool. So I think we we went for a while now just talking about audio, but I do want to spend a few minutes showing you probably two workflows that are for my video peeps, people who create video as a starting point. I want to show you two quick things, and I'll save the best for last. So I'm going to jump right into it. So if we go back to this diagram here, where we start with a video, I'm going to show you quickly how to take a Facebook video and turn it to an audio. We can do that by just simply doing this. I can say video to audio. So I'm going to make a new workflow. I'm going to say this time I'm going to start with a video, whether it's a live, I can choose live video or regular video. Doesn't matter. It's up to me. I'm going to say this, for this demo, I'm going to say Facebook video. It could be a video from your profile, a video from any group that you're an owner, or any video from a page that you're an administrator. So I'm going to just grab one of my videos from here. So then in the action, then here's where you change the option to say, I want to convert that video into an audio. So that's where you kind of set that up when you make your workflow. And then, hey, send that audio to my Dropbox. So I say create workflow. Again, let's see. Oh, internet saved me this time. So I'm going to click view videos. So these are all my videos that are on that Facebook page that I connected. And I just wanted to show you one thing. I think I kind of mentioned it earlier. You have a really cool option of uploading an intro and an outro to in audio format, like MP3 format or WAV or whatever, to our software. And then when you do that, we will take that intro and outro and add it to the audio that we strip out of your Facebook video and send you a final audio file that's all concatenated together. Like basically you have almost like a real sounding podcast episode with an intro, then the content from your Facebook video, and then an outro. So it's just an MP3 shows up in your Dropbox folder, already ready to go to be published to your podcast platform. So I think that's a really cool way of turning videos into podcasts, but also giving them more of a podcast feel because you have your intro in there and then your outro. So that's cool. And then if anyone here using Libsyn, we actually have a direct Libsyn integration. So Libsyn is one of the podcasting hosts. We have an integration, meaning that we can send the file either draft or live right to your podcast feed if you're hosting with Libsyn. And then the episode will appear live on your feed if you want it, or it could be a draft that you can schedule for another day. So if you're not using Libsyn, totally cool. You can send it to Dropbox and you can do what you want with that and upload it to your podcast host. All right, so that's the audio piece. I'm not going to actually publish it, but it's really cool, really fast, straightforward. And then the last thing I wanted to show is how to get, I want to show this flow here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Basically, taking a Facebook video. Oh, thanks, my Siri. All right, thanks, Siri. Take a Facebook video and then that's like this, horizontal, turn it into a vertical video, and then add the captions on it, which is a cool part. So burn the captions right into the video. And those are those videos I've seen a lot lately, especially on Instagram, that it's just more engaging because you see something and you're kind of like reading along and then you just keep reading. You can't help yourself and you just keep reading, and you don't have to have the audio on, but you can still learn something or watch something when you're at work, when you're not supposed to be working, when you're supposed to be working and people are around you. So no, it's just a good way of consuming content without having to force someone to have the audio on. So let's show you how that works. So the first thing that you got to do, which may not work, well, I have to switch browsers. It seems to act funny on Chrome, on Safari. So I'm going to go into my Chrome if it lets me log in. Bear with me. The first thing you want to do is go to your Facebook. My demo, I'm going to take an existing video that I've uploaded. So you want to go to your Facebook page, and once you upload a video, you'll see an option called subtitles or captions or something. I'll show you what that is. Let's see, under videos here. Where is it? Videos. Okay, so if I pick this video, for example, and I edit the video, you have the option to turn on subtitles. So Facebook will do this for you for free and automatically. So you turn on this option when you upload a brand new video, and then it spends a few minutes, whatever, seconds, minutes. It generates captions. You can click this, and then you have the ability to edit and clean up any mistakes. So you can do that all right on Facebook. So this is nothing we've created. This is a free feature if you're uploading to a Facebook page. I believe it's not available when you upload to groups and not to personal profiles. So it's only available for pages.
Yeah.
That's what I recommend starting with a page. So turn that on, edit the captions, clean it up, and then hit save. And then when you do that, your video will have the captions right here on Facebook when someone's watching on Facebook. But even cooler is when you generate that vertical video, we can grab those captions and burn them right into our video that we create. So let's do that right now.
Sneaky.
Yeah, we are sneaky in a good way. We don't mean.
Oh yeah.
We're not evil. We're good here. So I'm gonna just say take my Facebook video and go whatever. I'm just gonna call it with captions to Dropbox, and I'm gonna say vertical again. Just the more detail you put in here, the easier it is for you later on. So I'm gonna say take a Facebook video, and you can do it with the Facebook Live. Like it doesn't have to be an uploaded video. It could be a Facebook Live. You can turn on the captions after the live is done and get them cleaned up. But this one, I'm just gonna take a regular video from my test page. And again, you have the option of uploading the video, which is what we wanna do. Again, I can do snippets, just like the audio, I can trim the video. There's a little video editor that pops up. You can do the same exact thing if you want to do like a 1 minute clip or 2 minute clip or whatever clip. But for this demo, I'm going to say full video because it's a very short video. And I'm going to send it to my Dropbox. And then, so if I go into view videos, all my videos are here. This is the one that had captions on it.
Mm-hmm.
Captions enabled. I go in my settings. I say, you know what? I want you to, instead of taking the original video, which is in horizontal format, I want you to turn it into a vertical or square. But since I'm assuming I'm gonna go to IGTV with this video, I wanna turn it to vertical. Very cool. You have some colors here you can tinker around with. I'm gonna leave that like the progress bar color, the headline color, background color. Leave all defaults for now. It looks cool the way it is in my opinion, but you can customize those. And then you can say, add the Facebook captions to my video. Say, yes, please do that. So I turn that on, that's it, and I hit save. So then I go ahead and hit publish. And this is the title of my Facebook video, but I can change it like, so this is what's going to appear on the video itself because the video itself has a title. So you can change it here, or you can, if you've done a good job when you uploaded your video, you can just use the default title. And then here you have a couple options. I told it to use the Facebook captions, but if you're not doing captions from Facebook or you have a professional service like rev.com that's generating caption files for you, you can say, hey, you know what? Just upload the caption file. And then you can upload it right here. We'll burn that in. If you're not doing that or this, and you just want like a simple call to action in the bottom of the video, like you don't want to spend time doing captions, that's cool. You can say whatever you want, you know, sign up for my email or visit my website. You can have just static text that'll appear on the bottom of that video, or you can leave it blank and then it'll just be empty. So don't feel like you have to use the captions, but if you do spend time doing the captions on Facebook, you might as well have them burnt into your video. So let's publish and let's see what this looks like.
That's because a lot of people will watch things with the sound off and just read it, you know, on the download side, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time now. Like I feel like, you know, I don't want to turn the sound on and someone's around, or like I don't have my headphones. I just want to, this is interesting. I'm scrolling. I just follow along and I read it. Mm-hmm. Let's hope this goes through. If it doesn't go through, I can pull up a sample from my Dropbox. Okay. I don't want to keep people hanging. So I'm going to go to my Dropbox. I did a demo, the same exact demo 9 hours ago. So this is what it spits out.
Nice.
So, okay. We got the video. It looks blurry here, but it's actually a full, it's actually not that blurry when you download the video.
Right.
Title, video, progress bar, which kind of again gives you that reference of how long the video is. And then the captions burn right into the video. And with literally a couple clicks, we have this video in our Dropbox that I can go in, schedule it to go live on IGTV.
Oh my gosh.
It's now with that Creator Studio, it's just like awesome.
Dude,
Awesome.
there were companies out there charging like $1,500 a month to
Oh my
do
God.
1, 2, or 3 of these videos captions like this. When I saw that you came out with this, I was like, no, hang on a second.
Yeah. It's automated, right? It's automated. Just set it up, and then all you need to do is upload a video to Facebook or go live on Facebook, turn on the captions on Facebook, clean them up a little bit, and then this will kick in and do its thing. Yeah, and then you can do the same exact thing with Square. I don't know if I have a Square sample here, but
but it just setting it up, they're just adjusting the size like you did.
Yeah, you just pick up in the settings, you say I want a square, then it'll basically be cut off, essentially cut off here. So you just have a square version of this, which is awesome. And then each workflow, you can customize it. Like if you know this is going to LinkedIn, you can change the colors up a little bit. Like every workflow can be customized kind of depending on where you're setting that content in terms of dimension, the colors, whatever. Like it's super powerful. So
yeah, once you set the workflow, I've done this a couple times, and I've been sitting my assistant to help out with this a little bit, but I went through it a couple times. The longest thing is just like for me, I speak pretty quickly a lot of times, so going in and make sure the captions actually say what I want, what I'm saying, and going through that. That was what took the longest, because once everything was set up with the auto sets like you've got in here, boom, it's just a matter of hitting publish, and then coming back and later downloading those. I mean, they're already in Dropbox, and downloading them and being able to upload them.
Yeah, and then you can also, like, once you spend the time again doing the captions up front on Facebook, you can get full length version. Then you can make another workflow to make snippets. So you can make one piece of content, like a 30-minute Facebook Live can be 20 clips, 20 little 1-minute clips. And they're all captioned, so you don't have to keep redoing the caption or uploading the caption. Once you do the caption once, that's it. We just use it and we generate the video. That you can make ones ready you can directly publish to Twitter, like we said here. We can go right to Dropbox, Google Drive, and send them to your LinkedIn. Actually, we're very close to releasing direct LinkedIn video upload.
Nice.
Because it just saves you one more step, right? So we're getting there. We're making them all automated. So yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of show you, give you a feel. I hope I didn't like tire people out or get people overwhelmed. It sometimes might seem overwhelming, but once you try it, once you use it, you make your first workflow, and then you get it. All of a sudden, you have a video on YouTube. That feeling is like, wow, it's that easy. What else could I do? And then these templates are available. Like this will basically guide you. Say, okay, I want to go from here to YouTube, here to Facebook, here to my Dropbox in this format, here to my Google Drive, et cetera, et cetera. So these are designed to help you kind of get recommended workflows for getting the most out of your content.
And that's the thing. I've run case studies. The fact that we did video, it more than doubled our numbers than if we would have just done video or audio by itself. And this way, if you're doing just an audio podcast, you got the availability to add that video facet to it without having to do extra work. Or if you're already doing YouTube videos, it's an easy addition to what you're doing with just a few plug and plays with Repurpose.io, and just setting up some settings, testing it out a couple times, and then just publishing it and letting it rock and roll, man.
Yeah, that's it. Like it's just a little bit of initial setup, making sure things look good the way you want it, and then you can leave it on auto. If you have someone on your team, they can go in and publish them. But now with the scheduling feature for Instagram, that's a game changer. That's gonna
totally. Just like, and then I mean the nuggets. The fact that if you put the timestamps in YouTube, it automatically pulls it up to clicks to the link.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you just mentioned about the whole Facebook workflow stuff. Yeah, the Creator Studio. That's awesome, man. I'm jacked up. People may not be asking a lot of questions, but I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Like just the possibilities now. Like I think what I find, like if anyone's watching us feeling a little bit overwhelmed, like, oh my God, this looks a little bit, I went into a lot of details in there that you don't need to worry about. I just want to kind of cover. So I would say we'll make sure you guys have access to these. They're available on our website actually. So you can basically see these workflow diagrams. And my recommendation is if you do audio, just go right to YouTube. Just do that one workflow that goes to YouTube. That's the first one you start with. And if you're doing Facebook videos, do one for Facebook to YouTube. That's it. You get a feel for it. You feel good. You'll see your YouTube channel is gonna have content like in minutes, just like from existing content that you already have.
Yeah, so easy, so awesome, man.
Yeah, awesome.
So we got a couple questions. This is awesome, but okay. Scott's mentioned some things about cost on here for assistant and things like that. What's the investment look like? Is this thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars? What's the investment look like for people?
Investments now for one easy payment? Oh, no. No, we are we've launched this about 2.5 years ago and we haven't changed the price yet. It is to do everything I've showed today. The plan is $20 a month, $20 per month. So cheap. It's a no-brainer, and there's a free trial. You can try it out and make sure that it meets your needs. So yeah, definitely something worth at least trying it out. And if you're making content, if you're doing regular content once a week, at least once a week, you can't hire someone to do all this for $20.
No, you can't. I've looked at it. Trust me, I've looked at it, and I'm like, that's why people have heard me talk about some different tools. And like last week, I talked about Repurpose is one of the 10 major tools, one of the top 5 tools that we use with our podcast, and others are using to share it out there. But you've got some really nice testimonials on your website from JLD, from Entrepreneurs on Fire, and Jordan and a bunch of other guys out there that are doing it. But that's the thing, guys. If you could do one video and literally, like Hani just showed you, chop it up 4 to 8 times or tweak it to hit all those things out there. So you don't have to do 8 videos. You do one video and it's shared with a few, like with anything, the first time you set it up is gonna be the longest time for you to do it and make sure everything's right and then go from there.
Yeah. And that's it. It takes you so much time to make the content. So it's a lot to spend a few minutes repurposing that content. It's a lot better than creating new content from scratch. Cause that's time consuming. We all know here, we're all content creators. It takes time to come up process with the ideas, the energy to produce it, audio or video. It doesn't make sense. Whatever you create, you want it out there in as many formats as possible on as many platforms as possible.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff there. So the link there, guys, is repurpose.io. I think if you use the -PC amendment, it also helps you out there a little bit there for you. The code that Hani gave me for you guys to be able to use, but Repurpose.
I think it might even be cheaper with that discount code. I think we had a discount set up.
I think you had a little bit of discount there.
Yeah, I think we have can't remember, 20 or 25% discount. So yeah, so it's even less than 20. It's like $15 a month.
Oh my gosh, that's so cheap, guys.
With that link, yeah, it's still a free trial. You can just try it out. No credit card or anything. You can just sign up and publish 4 videos, and if you like the way it's set up, you can try it out for a month, or if you go for the whole year, it's even cheaper. So definitely use that link because it's so worth it.
It is so well worth it. Well, guys and gals out there, whether you're watching this live here on Zoom or watching on Facebook Live as well, or catching the replay, trust me, if you're going to be a marketer, and we're all marketers in the media aspect of things out there, whether it's audio or video, you want to argue about which one is better, which one's a true podcast or a blog or show. We're all in shows on here. This is one tool that will save you hours and save you thousands of dollars when you look at what a lot of people have paid for in the past. And honestly, repurpose.io is the secret weapon to our podcast. I say that proudly because we believe it and we see it with the things that we do. We've been messing around with the captions and the squares and doing the stuff with IGTV, and oh my gosh, man, we are so excited what you've done with this. And you just less than 60 days ago, you really added some of these cool features. Is that right?
Yeah, the video captions we saw, that was probably 2 months ago. We just launched it, and it's 2.5 years. The software has been out, and it started as simple as a audio to YouTube. That's all it started off as, one simple. And it's becoming a platform where you can manage all your content from one place, and that's what people love. They don't have to log in and use different tools to make snippets and convert. They can log into one place, manage it all. Even if they have someone on their team to do it, at least they're all logged in with one tool, one place that can get it all done for you.
Perfect, good stuff there. Well, Hani, thank you so much for coming on the live stream here tonight. I know you've been busy. You've been on vacation with the fam, enjoying stuff, and good. And thank you so much for sharing your time. And looking forward to seeing you at the next event, huh, brother?
Absolutely. I can't wait. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Guys, take advantage. Repurpose.io. If you use the special code -PCMM, you should be able to get a little bit of a discount there for you. Otherwise, check out the website, mess around with the trial version, get to love it, enjoy it, work it. It is something that's just, I think it's one of the coolest things in the podcasting world out there. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And like I said, Hani's got a lot of support videos there online that will walk you through what he just went through tonight as well. If we went a little too fast for you tonight. But Hani, once again, bud, thanks so much, man. All right.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Have a good evening and say hey to your fan for us. All right.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Go out, use it, sign up for it. Trust me, $20 a month. You can't buy coffee for that much per month out there. And this will get you going a whole lot faster than a cup of coffee will. We'll see you guys all later. Have a great evening, everybody.